Hello, I'm Peter Towers. Welcome to this webinar for members of ESS BIZTOOLS, Buying a Business. Before we go into the actual package that's contained within the ESS BIZTOOLS website, I want to just raise a couple of issues with you relative to advice to people buying a business. In the ESS BIZTOOLS material, there is some supplementary reading that I'd suggest that you read, and that is the Australian Small Business and Family Enterprise Ombudsman Small Business Pulse Report, which was released in August 2024, and the Australian Small Business and Family Business Ombudsman's report, Energising Enterprise, 14 Steps to Boost Australia's Small and Family Businesses, that you will find quite interesting for your clients. So what I want to show you is we just share to the reports. The first one is the comments that the Ombudsman made on the state of the situation for SMEs, which they call the Small Business Pulse. You can read this, but it's worth noting some of the key points that Bruce Bilson, the Ombudsman, had to say. These are: over the last 12 months, conditions for small businesses have deteriorated by 3.5% and continue to be well below long-term average. The business operating environment has been in decline for the past 2 years, with rising concerns about regulation, increased costs, and slow demand weighing on profitability. Concerns by small business owners about their business viability have increased. This includes those already in financial distress and those who are considering their options while they still have them. Fewer small businesses are considering expanding or transforming their business as they struggle to stay open. Queries on hiring staff. These are queries sent to the Ombudsman's office. So queries on hiring staff, advertising, new product offerings, and other innovations are all relatively low. And he concludes this overview by saying these tough conditions are affecting optimism, with fewer people considering starting a business. And here's the chart looking at the pulse. It's nearly a vertical drop as far as confidence is concerned by SMEs in the marketplace. I think you should read this Small Business Pulse before giving advice to people contemplating purchasing a business. There's another report that I want to also show you, and we'll just bring that up now. And this is called Energising Enterprise, which the Ombudsman's office have prepared. It looks at a whole series of matters. It's basically the Ombudsman's submission to the government as to what should be happening in small business. The Ombudsman, Bill Bilson, was formerly the Minister for Small Business in the last Liberal National Party government. He retired from Parliament and was appointed to this position to succeed Kate Carnell, who had been a very energetic and popular Ombudsman for small business. Bilson brings his knowledge of small business that he had from his previous life as a small business operator and then as the Minister for Small Business. And the current Prime Minister saw benefit in continuing his appointment when the Labor Party took office. The Ombudsman's whole function is financed by the government, but the Ombudsman's independent. and I understand there's about 24 staff work for the Ombudsman. So if you've got clients who have got problems with big business, unions, government, and they're not getting anywhere and you can't help them, it's not a bad idea to refer them to the Ombudsman's office and see if they can make representations on behalf of your client. And what you might find, of course, is that they've already got another 20, 30, 40, 100 complaints about a similar issue. So that gives them more weight when they're negotiating. So hopefully that information will assist you in understanding what's happening. So the Ombudsman's report is a sobering overview of, as I see it, and I just need to go back and so it's a sobering overview of the state of thousands of SMEs in Australia. So in this webinar, we are reviewing advice that you could offer to someone contemplating buying a business. I think you need to be considering the state of the SME marketplace when you're giving that advice. The issues raised by the Ombudsman need to be discussed with potential purchasers of a business. I think that's important. It's part of your professional responsibilities in communicating with a potential purchaser of a business. These issues present an opportunity for you to emphasise that virtually all SMEs need accountancy assistance significantly beyond the preparation of an annual set of accounts and an income tax return. And when I say virtually all, the only one I'm really excluding is someone that's been working as a chief financial officer in a bigger organisation. That person probably has a fair idea of how it all should work. But most of these other business operators do not, and they need assistance. And I think we need, as a profession, to be indicating to them that they need virtual chief financial officer input. So this is an opportunity to present that, to try to ensure that the people buying businesses now in late 2024 are going to have some chance of success in what is now a very difficult marketplace. The report by the CEO of MYOB, Paul Robson, that was published in the Financial Review in February this year, emphasised that it was fiscal management skills that were missing by many people who were either buying a business and then continuing it on, or others who just started up brand new businesses from scratch. And the key issues he highlighted was not understanding the terms of engagement with suppliers, because obviously the people that MYOB interviewed had made an assumption that they would be automatically granted 30-day payment terms. That's not right. And a lot of them obviously found that they were placed on cash on delivery or even cash on order to get their supplies. And what happened by the time Robson's team analysed what was going on, they'd run out of money because they were paying for their supplies a lot earlier than what they'd anticipated. So make sure your clients understand that. The second issue that he really highlighted was not understanding credit sales and the debtors management system that's required if you're going to have credit sales. People not having terms of trade agreements signed with their new customers, not emphasising what their payment terms were, not setting up a system whereby someone was telephoning these customers, and not only the new ones, all customers, to remind them that a tax invoice was due for payment in 5 days' time, and not being aware of the vital importance of the debtors' days outstanding figure, the information that that conveys to the leadership team. It's all very important. I think it's a role that your organisation can supply to these businesses, and that you should be spelling this out to them at the very beginning so that they understand the arrangements that you can deliver to them. So I'm now going to switch across to the ESS BizTools website, and we will be able to go from there. And what I've done is gone straight through to the summary of what's on the website for buying a business. So I've clicked on buying a business and gone straight through. So you can see that there's a procedure control form, which if you're utilizing ESS BizTools, you'll be familiar with. And then we've got a range of forms that you can use when you're giving advice to your clients on a business matter. And one of the documents that I do want to bring up is the paper on buying a business. So the buying a business paper, paper 570044, is now on your screen. This is the overview of everything that we have within the product package on buying a business. So you've got your contents. We'll just move through a couple of these issues. This is an outcome of a one-on-one meeting with a client. They want you to undertake things. What's included in buying a business consultancy module? I've referred to the Small Business Ombudsman's comments in that both of those reports that I've just shown you, and highlighted that you need to be bringing these matters to the attention of your clients. We've talked about what Paul Robson, the CEO of MYOB, had to say. And I've highlighted these very important matters of what is the payment terms and the ordering requirements and the quantities of orders, etc., that suppliers are imposing, making sure your client understands them, and making sure that that's how the budgets and cash flows have been prepared. Some discussion about offering credit terms to customers, and that really rolls into the debtors management system and debtors days outstanding. We've also referred to that very unwanted title, which we received as a country a few years ago, that we had the longest debtors days outstanding in the world. And I haven't seen anything subsequent which says we've lost that title. I think we probably still have it. And the other big issue that Robson identified was that businesses were not planning to make payments to the Australian Taxation Office. And as we all know, during the COVID crisis, the government told the tax office to back off a bit, and there wasn't much action taken by the ATO against SMEs. But that's all now changed. The tax office is now trying to get the financial position back in order, and they are aggressively chasing up SMEs for money. So fiscal management's a very important component. You can raise these issues with your clients and then start going through and looking at the various aspects. So this paper is what I would be suggesting is the first thing you read. It is linked to the various BAS forms, and you can use it to guide you right through the system, and it's linked to those various forms. So they're purchasing a business checklist, and there's some, what we've called an education package, a whole series of articles that are available within BAS 1051 on things about thinking about buying a business, business structures, budgets, marketing, advertising, retail, charge out rates, human resources, taxation, risk management, all the types of issues that someone who's wanting to buy a business, to put their life savings on the line, to put their house on the line, if they're borrowing money, they need to be aware of the problems that they could face in their business. And I don't think it's distasteful to be then raising this virtual CFO role with them and give them the summary. In a larger business, there's a full-time, at least one, sometimes a lot more than one, person called the Chief Financial Officer. I was one of them in a listed public company. I was also the company secretary. I had 13 accountants or senior office managers around Australia, various roles in their operations. And in head office, we had another 3 head qualified accountants. So our CEO was getting the input from all these people. What do your SME clients do? What's this person that's planning on leaving a job? They might have been a school teacher. They might have been a member of the military. They may have worked for 30 years in private enterprise and decided they're going to have a go. But they need to realise that in the businesses they've come from, there was a team in operation. They're now going into business where they may well be on their own. They need your input. But not many accountants have been pushing this. Not enough, in my opinion, have been pushing this as a service that you can offer. So I really suggest that you bring this to the attention of your clients. You can offer these services. There's a due diligence review included in this material for you to use for looking at anyone that's going to buy shares in a company. Now, I always get nervous when someone comes to me and says they're going to buy into a business and they're going to buy the shares. You don't really know what's gone on previously. There can be some real skeletons in the cupboard, and the current directors, which presumably once your clients purchase these shares, they're going to be at least a director. They might be the only director, or their family might be the only directors. And if there's problems that the company's been involved in, it could come back to haunt your client. So this due diligence review, if they're going to have to buy shares in a company, and I know sometimes you have to do that, I think they should be very much aware of the issues by working through this very detailed summary that I prepared for a client that really needed it at the time, because they had to buy shares in the company to get what they wanted. So that covers all of that. And then there's non-company due diligence if it's not a company that they're dealing with. There's Australian Bureau of Statistics data, and they can check on BAS 1054 to find that, or you can. Buying a business questions you need to ask your client. Do they know anything about running this business? Is there a good team? Is the team going to be retained? Is there a manual of how the business operates? Are they going to be introduced to the suppliers? Hopefully they've already been introduced to the suppliers. Is there a good management team? What's the vendor going to do after they've sold the business? A very important question. Restraints of trade, but has the vendor got adult children or close relatives, nephews, nieces, etc., that they've worked very closely with? They will not be party to a restraint of trade agreement in most cases, but what are they proposing to do? Because you might find that your client's going to buy a business, and a few hundred yards down the road, the nephew of the vendor of the business, who's been very much involved in the day-to-day activities of the business, is well known to the customers, is now starting his own business. that can be a real problem. And your client has probably got no redress available on that situation. So would they, if they'd known that was going to happen, would they have gone ahead and bought the business? That's the key question. And you need to raise these issues with them so they start thinking about them. They put up their antennas, they're conscious of thinking about that, especially if that type of description fits. There are family members, not direct family members, but family members working in the business who have got a good rapport with customers. What's their intention? What are they going to do? If a building's been acquired, does it need repairing? But if the building is going to still be used and it's on lease, what are the conditions of the lease? What problems is your client likely to have when the lease gets to termination dates? So there's a number of issues that we've tried to summarize in this overview of your role in giving this consultancy advice. There's material there to help you prepare the work program, the budget, and the quotation form. So hopefully all that will assist you in being able to answer questions and give advice to your clients. So if you've got any questions on any aspect of buying a business, please send me an email, peter@essbiztools.com.au, and I will get back to you. So thank you very much for your support of ESS BizTools and for viewing this webinar as part of our ongoing briefing of the resources that you've got available to use to help your clients that are in ESS BizTools. Have a great day. Goodbye. And I look forward to talking to you again in a couple of weeks' time when we present our next members video on some aspect of the ESS BizTools. Have a great day. Goodbye.